G'day guys. I was asked to make a video on showing the opening and closing action of the folding dagger I did for the Australian Blade Forums dagger comp. So I thought I'd do a bit more than that and just run through some of the features of the knife and why I wanted to make it, as well as of course showing how the opening action works. So we'll start with the opening action and get it out the way. So there's two methods of opening it. One is just to use this thumb tab to open it quite slowly and safely. The other one, if you really want to risk your fingers, is like that. And it's a little bit dangerous, but I've yet to cut myself, so it seems to be not too bad. The knife itself has a blade of S35 VN and superconductor bolsters and lightning strike carbon fiber for the handle scales, and then we've got anodized titanium liners, which have been, you can't really see it in there, but it's been jeweled in there. So what I wanted to do for the dagger comp, I'd never made a dagger before, so I was really keen to see how I went grinding the dagger and making sure I could get those straight lines down the middle of the blade and things like that. It's a real challenge for a knife maker to do something like that. So this was my first one and I'm pretty happy with the results. There's a few things I've learnt, mostly just with the finishing of it. I think the best method actually would be to finish the flats first to a high grit and then finish your bevels of the blade. The main reason for that is that I have noticed on this one that the lines weren't as crisp as when I ground them. So there's two reasons for that. The first one was just I flat sanded the bevels, the tang afterwards, and it's brought that flat further up the blade. It's kind of hard to see, I guess, but this one I was more aware of it, so it ends really just there. This one, it's gone down a lot further, so that was one thing. If you're making a dagger, I'd recommend just being aware of that to do that. And then the other one was that when I was sharpening it late at night before the show, I didn't do a real good job of it and accidentally touched the blade onto the belt, so I had to redo the hand sand. So I think that's, every time you do a hand sand you lose a little bit of crispness in the line, so I think that's part of the other reason. But one of the things I'd like to do with this one is actually go back and regrind it just with a 16 micron belt or a 6 micron Trizac belt and bring that crispness back, and then I can just go over it with the final hand sand finish again. But it's a little bit dangerous now that the blade's been sharpened, so I haven't really bothered yet. So the other thing is where I live, daggers you need a license to be able to own or manufacture them, and each one needs to be serial numbered. So this serial number, D for dagger 14, was made in 2014, and it was the first dagger for 2014. So figured that's as good a serial number system as anything else. For the opening and closing mechanism, I really have been intrigued by this thumb tab for opening and closing them. Since I discovered Gareth Bull knives, and there's a few other makers like Burger knives, and a lot of them out of South Africa are really keen on this design, and I am too. It makes for a really clean knife. There's no thumb stud that you need to take a notch out or anything like that. This is much less intrusive than a flipper tab, but opens very easily anyway, and I would say probably less likely to open in your pocket and things like that. So yeah, like I actually have a burger knife here, and this one of the things I've learnt from it is I find it really difficult to open one-handed that way. Like using your thumb is quite easy, but I found with this particular model just a little bit difficult to get your finger past there to open it up quickly. But yeah, since I got that one, I knew that I had to make one. So given that the Dagger challenge wasn't a custom order or anything like that, it gave me the chance to try out something new for myself. And then, you know, I've seen a lot of the, you know, really classy art knives with full engraved, you know, inlays and gold and all that sort of stuff. Like, I really like that, the shape of them. Wanted to do something a little bit different, and so I went for something a bit more modern, materials and things like that. Also, I can't engrave, so I didn't have the time in the competition to send it out to get engraved or anything like that. But this one, the materials, the first time I've used superconductor, and yeah, I'm really happy. Like, this is aged a bit since it was first brand new, and it just is really, really nice material to work with. So and that's, you know, part of that clean look from these daggers that you see in all the art knives and everything like that, is just that, you know, continuous lines everywhere, and you know, usually the pivot's hidden, so that was one of the reasons I went for the hidden pivot on this one underneath the bolsters, just to keep those really clean lines there, but in a modern style of materials. So yeah, that is like some insight into the goals of why I made this particular knife. The challenge of trying to get the that top edge inside the handle, you know, it's something, you know, we often make the same model knife many times, and so you kind of get used to the design, and having the chance to design something new is actually quite a lot of fun, and especially with a specific goal in mind, you know, of having that dagger hidden, and still keeping the really clean lines and everything like that, you know. For fit and finish, you know, I really wanted this to end up in the center of that peak, I guess, just hidden away, and just, you know, keep things nice, as clean and well fitted as I could. So overall, you know, I'm really happy with how this knife came out. It's on washers, not on bearings or anything like that, so, you know, the action is just so nice and smooth, you know, really it works so well without the bearings that, you know, I guess that's one of the things that as you learn making folders, your bearings makes it a bit easier to get that action right, but it's not the bearings, it's how everything works together, with your D10 and with your lock bar and everything like that. It all works together to get that action really nicely. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and it's given you a bit of insight about, you know, what we think about as knife makers when we're looking to design a new model or come up with something new. You know, we take inspiration from other people all the time, like Gareth Bull and Burger Knives and those other guys from South Africa, and see if we can put our own, you know, unique spin or our own challenge on top of it. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this one's come out, so hope you guys enjoy the video.